You're watching Pedestal by Sargeant Hagan. Chapter 21. His agent was the first call in the morning. "Is everything all right, dear?" Deborah asked, as if I'm a troubled teenager. "Yes, Deborah, everything's fine." He winced as he swallowed some ibuprofen for his aching head. Too much wine. Too much Chloe. "Well, you're all over the gossip columns this morning. I just wanted to know if you meant to be." Is this another one of David's stunts?" she asked, a hint of anger in her motherly voice. "No, David had nothing to do with it," he assured her. "I don't even want to look this time." "Lipstick smears, Edwin? It just makes you look, well, tacky." He could feel her entire generation shudder. "Nothing happened. Well, not nothing, but not what you think. She just wears a lot of lipstick." Deborah grunted. "Now about that script, the one about the alien invasion?" "I don't want to do it," said Edwin. "Why?" "It's just not serious enough. I want something completely different, something substantial, challenging." She sighed. "Okay, I'll keep looking, but you can't turn down everything or you'll stop getting offers." "I know," he said. "I just can't think straight right now." Edwin did not call Chloe the next day, or the next. In fact, he avoided her calls altogether. He finally replied to her multiple texts, claiming to be swamped with work. He was thankful she was busy working on her record because it allowed her to become self-absorbed. He felt stupid and used, but mostly stupid. And he had used Chloe. She may not have cared, but he knew it was true and he hated himself for it. That's not who I am. I'm not Mary Alice Rowan. He waited 3 days, however, before he attempted to call Adriana. But like she said, he couldn't get in touch with her. Her cell phone was turned off. He couldn't even find her on Find My Friends. Adriana, unavailable. He emailed her and got an automated response. She had no home phone and her number at work was automated and dropped him into her voicemail box, which said she was unavailable and to call a colleague instead. He knew she either wasn't listening to her messages or was ignoring his. She never called. He had nothing to go on to find her. No address, no hotel, no scrap of information she had dropped. Nothing. The only thing of interest came from Bill, his driver, who had slunk over to Edwin's in fear of his job to report a conversation he had overheard between Bethany and Adriana the night she left. According to Bill, Adriana had cried after the argument. Bethany was not so sympathetic. "Well," Bethany had said, "that went well. That's exactly why I told you not to tell him you were leaving." "What did you expect me to do?" Adriana had demanded of her friend. "I couldn't lie to him. I couldn't pretend I would see him tomorrow and then just not be there." "We shouldn't have come to this party. You shouldn't be in England at all. It was a distraction." "It was his 35th birthday. It meant a lot to him." "You mean a lot to him," said Bethany, "and it's getting dangerous." Bill said they ended the conversation there and were silent the rest of the drive. Edwin tucked the information in his mind, but it didn't make sense to him. Why would it be dangerous for her to mean a lot to him? And she did mean a lot to him. He didn't realize how much until that night. Chloe had put it all out of his mind temporarily. He hadn't wanted to think about it, about what he had said to Adriana. "I love you." What was I thinking? I wasn't thinking. It just blurted out on its own, and she ran away because I love her. His imagination replayed the scene, Adriana getting into the car, turning her tearful face away. The nameless, faceless man loomed up again out of the flashes of cameras, blocking his view of the car speeding away to some unknown destination, carrying her away from him. When he couldn't get Adriana, he turned to Bethany. Call after call went unheeded. He even marched down to the British Museum, only to be told she refused to see him due to work. He did the only thing he knew to do, appealed to the feminine side of her predatory bird personality. He sent her a note via the guard that read, "My heart is breaking." It worked. Bethany appeared, disheveled again, but with a slight look of sympathy. "I don't know where she is," she said. "I don't believe you," he said. She shrugged. "Nevertheless, I don't know where she is." She folded her arms and stared at him. "Can you give her a message for me?" he asked. "I told you I don't, for when you see her again, or hear from her, or something." She appeared to relent, shifting her weight to the other foot. Just tell her I'm sorry. Tell her I want to be a good friend. She nodded. If I hear from her, I'll tell her. She returned to the archives, the great door closing solemnly and finally behind her. Edwin knew that was all he would glean from the museum.